Uncle Mark.
Oh, hi.
I think it's well known to our listeners that I think Val Kilmer is a highly underrated actor. If I've said it once.
I see where you're going.
You've said it way more than once. I'm surprised that you love Pretty Woman as much as you do because he's not in it.
But I think his career hit its height in the 1997 spy flick Saint.
The Saint.
The Saint.
I don't know if it was 1997. I made it up because I don't care. I just need to find a way to say the word Saint to toss to Uncle Dan.
It was him and Elizabeth Shue, as I recall.
And it was terrible.
Oh, it was so dumb.
So bad.
Yeah. It's actually worth watching. It's so bad.
Yeah.
It can't be fun.
Yeah. So anyway.
Okay. Yes, I'm going to be talking about a saint. But actually, uncles.
I was going to say, how'd we set you up there, Dan? That worked out good.
Great. It's fantastic. I'm going to spike it.
Okay.
Like Val Kilmer in Top Gun.
Yes! Exactly.
The Iceman!
You did it. All right. Full circle. I can stop now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Done.
Now, actually, I will say this. This is the story of a painting, eventually. A magic painting, to be exact. And while I haven't seen this particular painting in person, I've seen a painting of that painting and had no idea what I was looking at. We'll get to it. I was tipped off to this topic, by the way, by someone in the Unofficial Heretic Hangout on the Facebook page, the Facebook group that is not directly affiliated, but is an awesome little fans only sort of group.
Yes, thanks to Joe Waldhair for helming that project.
Always.
Yep. So somebody posted about this, and so all of you listeners should run out and join. Hi, Gino. Anyway, for posting this. Anyway, the painting was titled San Domenico in Soriano, or Saint Dominic in Soriano, which is interesting because while Saint Dominic is one of the few saints we've ever talked about on this show that we actually have some reliable information on, as opposed to the obviously made-up stories of a person that may well have never existed at all, there's no evidence that Saint Dominic ever went to Soriano, but we'll get to that too. First, I want to tell you a little bit about Saint Dominic himself, or Santo Domingo, the man so important that the Spanish named their Sunday after him. That's not true. Dominic is a big dog in the Catholic world. During his life, he turned down the opportunity to become a bishop, instead founding the Ordo Praedicatorum, or the Order of the Preachers, which is known to this day by their nickname, the Dominicans. Dominic founded his order around the same time as the dude that he knew, Francis of Assisi, founded his Franciscan order. So there you go. They were all buddy-buddy there.
Like keeping up with the Joneses if you were like a monk. You had to start your own thing, yeah.
Okay, so Dominic lived in the late 12th and early 13th centuries. Born in Spain in 1170, there's a famous and obviously false story of his blessed mother. In this case, she was actually beatified by the Pope later. Having a vision. She had a vision of a dog leaping from her womb with a torch in his mouth, setting the world on fire.
That is called a nightmare.
Yeah.
That is not a vision.
That is classically called a nightmare or a serious gynecological condition.
Correct.
That you need treatment for.
The story actually probably came from a pun people used to make about the Latin nickname for the Dominican order, Dominicanus, which sounds a little bit like Dominicanis, which means God's dogs. Isn't that great? So clever.
Latin humor of that period really is
They knew what they were doing with the wordplay.
Yeah.
I will say that.
It grows on you. It grows on you.
Yeah, you'll like it later. Don't worry. There's also a strange tradition about his mom seeing a moon on his forehead when he was a baby. Or maybe it was a star, or maybe his godmother saw the star and his mother saw the moon. Anyway, that's all stupid, but now he's the patron saint of astronomy. Dominic wasn't.
I like how the way we give our saints is literally exactly the same as how the Catholics give theirs.
Totally. Yeah. Totally.
Just pull it out your butt. Yep, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, we're following in the, we're standing on the shoulders of giants here.
Yes,
people.
we're walking in some fancy velvet slippers.
That's how we do. So Dominic, as a young monk, wasn't too big of a deal until his 30s, when he accompanied the Bishop of Osman from Spain to Denmark to go get a princess for Prince Ferdinand to marry. They were successful in that they made the deal to secure the princess. Princesses are expensive, but
it's a block of cheese.
But it's not out of reach. You can get one. But unfortunately, they were unsuccessful in that the princess died before they left to go back to Spain.
Did they get their money back?
I think they probably did.
That's good. You got to keep the receipt.
Always do.
The original version of the parrot sketch.
Right, exactly. Hello, Polly!
Good news, we have your princess. What's the bad news? Well...
This princess has ceased to be. Anyway, as big a bummer as that was, this left Dominic and his bishop buddy with some time to travel. So they ended up at one point in southern France, where there was some funny business brewing. A group called the Albigenses, or Albigensians, or sometimes the Cathars, had been stirring up trouble for the church. They were ascetics, and were gaining a lot of popularity by preaching about how decadent the church was getting. All the bishops and priests and monks had started getting into that lavish lifestyle. They wore their designer robes and tall, sexy hats and lived in great mansions decked out in gold. They were straight pimping, is what was happening.
Yeah.
And the Albigenses, on the other hand, lived lives of pretty extreme self-denial, and insisted that the Bible backed their way of life more than the Osteen-esque way of the bishops.
They were right.
They were correct.
Yes.
I may have to do a segment on those guys at some point because they're fascinating characters. Anyway, Dominic preached against these heretics and had debates with them, but had very little luck bringing people back into the fold. He realized that part of the reason for that might be that, they were kind of right. So the church, being rich as fuck, it was kind of a bad look. That's when Dominic had a brilliant idea. Why don't we get us some of that reform? So, like so many behemoth companies who see a trend happening in the inner cities and try to convince everybody that they were totally like that too, Dominic decided to try the ascetic thing himself. He took a vow of poverty and learned to rap battle. Well, at least to preach better anyway. Now, was this method effective against the heretics? Was he able to win over the Albigenses and win them back to the church? Yeah, of course not. But it did impress quite a few of the newly established middle class in the cities of southern Europe. So, in December of 1216, Pope Honorius III approved the Dominican order, and the rest is history. I guess the first part is history, too. Whatever.
It's all history.
It's all history. Anyway, that's the broad strokes of St. Dominic. He didn't do any great miracles or make any super magic things happen when he was alive. He wasn't that kind of a saint. Again, he was real, so...
Yeah.
But saints' stories don't end when they die. That's just the beginning, baby. Magic can still happen. Fast forward to the year 1530 at a little Dominican monastery in the southest part of Italy. The sacristan, who's the caretaker of the church, had gotten up at 3:30 in the morning to light the lamps of the church because monks ain't got shit to do, apparently. Suddenly, 3 ladies walk in and are all like, excuse me, do you know how to get to the Piranha Club from here? And the sacristan was all, no, of course not. Isn't that a gay club? Not that I'd know. I'm a priest. Why, is it underwear night? I'm asking for a friend. And then one of the women was all, wait, is this like a church? What church is this? And the priest said, this is the Church of St. Dominic. And one of the women was like, why is it so yuck in here? You guys are seriously, you need to hire a decorator. And the sacristan was like, well, that's not really our thing. And one of the women was like, wait, did you say St. Dominic? Oh my God, you guys, this is so weird. I totally have a painting of him in my purse for no reason. Do you guys want it? It's like way better than the skanky one you have hanging up there. You should put it right there behind the altar so everyone can see it and won't have to look at this rest of this garbage church. And boom!
I love that it's a Neapolitan Karen that you're describing.
Yeah. Suddenly, she bestowed on them a beautiful portrait of St. Dominic, and the three women stumbled out into the night, never to be heard from again. Well, until they appeared to the next people. It turns out those three women were Mary, the mother of Jesus, Mary Magdalene, and St. Catherine the Virgin. So, that was neat, I guess, but the best was yet to come, because that painting was magic! Like, super crazy magic. Like, eat your heart out, Chris Angel magic.
Easy.
Whoa.
He's a patron.
Like the painting.
Look,
the painting
I know he
in,
loves the show, but when I tell you what's going on, even he will have to agree.
Is it like
Chris,
the painting
you can top
in Ghostbusters 2? Is that kind of the magic we're talking
Yeah,
about?
it's
Vigo the Carpathian.
Vigo, yes. We are like the buzzing of flies to him. Anyway, so here's the thing. One of the great tricks that it could do is that apparently if you ever hung that painting anywhere other than where Mary told them to hang it, the ghost of Bobby Burke would show up in the middle of the night and put it right back where it was supposed to be. All told, though, now here's the thing. I looked and looked for a list of the miracles that this painting enacted and could not find it. But I found plenty of sources saying that in less than 80 years, this painting had racked up over 1,600 miracles.
Wow.
And those weren't just like stories of miracles told by randos. These were individually verified miracles adjudicated by priests.
So
That's
you know
one
they're real.
hard-working painting.
Yeah.
So the
That's
painting,
a high-volume miracle painting.
yeah, exactly. And so this painting was so impressive that in 1644, Pope Innocent XII gave the painting its own feast day. Like on the liturgical calendar with all the most important saints' days, a painting of a saint was given saint status itself.
What's the feast day?
It was okay. I know that St. Dominic's feast day was in August. The thing is, it's been supplanted. They in the early 1900s, they switched it out and gave that feast day to a saint who had a movable feast, which is
Bummer,
a totally
because what I was like, I really wanted to do my magical painting cuisine.
right?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Where you eat nothing but burnt ochre and lapis
That's it.
lazuli.
And gesso.
Anyway, you'd think that a painting with that much power would be protected forever. But alas, in 1659, the Calabrian region was hit by an earthquake, and the Soriano Friary was badly damaged. Never fear! They rebuilt, which lasted until 1783, when God said, I was trying to destroy that, and put his foot down. He hit the area with a whole series of earthquakes, killing 171 people, and wrecking pretty much all of Soriano. Wow. Not knowing when to give up, however, they rebuilt the church again. But apparently they didn't do it right because the painting didn't show up behind the altar. Now, all over Europe, you can find plenty of paintings of St. Dominic. Look for him to be holding lilies and or a book, and maybe, I'm not kidding, a dog holding a torch. I actually saw a lovely portrait of St. Dominic by El Greco in Toledo, Spain, who painted Dominic all the time. Interestingly, El Greco himself was also named Dominic, but the Greek version, which was Domenicos. Anyway, that's
a coincidence too explosive to ignore.
Well, I can't even get into it. I don't have the time to explore all of that. But you can also, all over Europe, find quite a few paintings of the painting of St. Dominic, which I think is way weirder and far more interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of miracles by the transitive property, like how. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the painting did a lot more heavy lifting, miracle-wise, than Dominic ever did.
Can the paintings of the painting of St. Dominic perform minor miracles? What I'm asking is kind of like, change the thermostat.
Yeah, or you reach into your pocket and your pencil is magically sharpened.
Or if I'm a tourist and I take a picture of the painting, Can
of Saint Dominic.
Will it help me find my car keys? I mean,
I think it will.
right.
I can't see how it could be avoided.
How many generations removed from the original painting before it's ineffective to treat sciatica?
that there was
I think
a
eventually
Catholic.
it gains power, doesn't it? If you do a painting of the painting of the painting, you could probably walk on water at that point.
You can
could
rest
just
assured.
tear a hole in time space.
You can rest assured that there was a Catholic meeting of priests to discuss this very issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what the Pope thinks about when he's laying in bed. Let me see.
I don't know if that's what he thinks about, but fine.
Yeah.
Sure.
Topic for another time.
That and Underwear Day at the Piranha Club,
Yes.
all on his mind. Well, there you go. That's it. St. Dominic and his famous painting that we can't see, but we can see paintings of it.
Well, that's a crazy story. And can I just say one thing that
Please do.
to bookend this segment? I looked it up, and The Saint did come out in 1997.
Oh, you did it.
It's a miracle. The painting does another one.
Just talking about a picture of a painting, of a drawing of a painting of a saint is miraculous.
Enough. It is enough.
I am
True enough.
convinced. Hosanna. We'll do a Hosanna shout at the end of the show.
Somebody go out there and paint a painting of the painting of the painting, and then all will come. Good things will happen to you.
Yeah, I love it.